character suddenly has changed. Eric, your thoughts on the song?
The idea, this idea that during election times everybody needs to sing a political correct or political associated song is off. I found it tasteless.
Maybe it's a song. You know, music sometimes is driven by the season. And we're in the season of politics. Kwa hivyo, anaongea siasa mbaya.
For me it was tasteless really and super boring. In fact, I don't know why we played it for the entire time. We got the concept for the first 2 minutes.
You guys are so mean.
Terrible song. Terrible.
Well, I think the good thing is that if you are out there and the music is going to play out there, then you better put out a good song. Because if it is not good, then you shall be told it is not.
Honestly, Mike, I mean, you saw the expression on my face. It began a little well with, I was actually even thinking, oh, so we have a Bob Marley remix or something. You know, somebody probably has done something. And it's just really terrible.
But what's wrong with the song? The beat sounded good, it's a reggae beat, and today we have the theme of reggae.
It's a stolen beat. So you do not steal a beat and then mutilate it even further. The lyrics, first of all, there is nothing to write home about the lyrics. There's some words, I don't know whether he wanted to listen to.
It lacks authenticity. It's like me coming here and then you say, Eric, what do you feel about America is not white or red? America is the United States of America with a straight face.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then I call myself, I, Barack Hussein Obama. I now declare, you think I'm crazy. So that's what's going on.
And then the whole tired thing of some tired faces of watu sijui wamebeba mama placard, alafu watoto hawana.
Princess, that song feels like a punishment.
Yes.
Yeah. So like you haven't done your homework, you're going to listen to this last
It's a terrible song.
To this Alan song.
Alan, please, you
can just take to account.
No, listen to
and do the padia.
Nakaya's Mr. Politician.
Yeah,
it's not that
it's
bad.
Not
that'll be a good place to start.
Yeah.
All right, Sasa Siasambaya. And anyway, Alan, I guess you've got your comments. Maybe for the next song, he'll probably not want to have it play on Hot Topics for a review. Maybe
and that's the end of PDMs for all of us.
And he spent money on that video.
Yes, he did.
That's a shame.
Whoever even just shot it should have just told him, you know what? It's
whoever shot it should be shot.
Yeah. No.
Let's move on to what has been hot this weekend. Of course, because of this year's Sambaya, as a result, Kenyans are now literally suffering. And of course, Kenyans, what I love about Kenyans is that despite how difficult things are, they still have a humorous way of finding a way out. And of course, for the last 2 weeks, it's been prices for bare commodities like unga. Yes. It's been crazy. So of course, politics again plays into this, and there's been word that it's mainly because of Siasambaya, its leadership. So maybe your thoughts, you guys, and what has been going on.
The ugali.
Yes.
I mean, of course, it's common knowledge about our people and ugali. So for me, I'm still shocked. I'm still sad. I saw the meme, the one with the jogo. Somebody even watched mtu hata alikuwa naosha ndani ndani you know, like the whole thing.
Bad.
Yeah, it's really bad, and I like that we are making fun of it, but it's not very funny when you have got to buy that unga almost every day if you have several people to feed. It's not easy. It's really not easy on very many people. It's just that lazima tukule ugali sasa.
Especially the Luya nation. I apologize. I feel very sad for the Luya nation. No ugali anymore. Although on a more serious note, what's this thing, the National Cereals Board and so on? Mike, for me, I actually think it's the usual conspiracy to rip off billions, because we have a National Cereal Board that's supposed to have a grain reserve for precisely this type of emergency. When you go to Donon, you see giant silos. The fact that they put in the budget that we are going to be importing maize, and already things are coming in from the high seas, from Mexico. The only thing we want from Mexico is mojitos, and Lupita. Not maize. This is yet another government failure, national research.
But maybe the fact that the maize is already landing as they're announcing that it is coming, it shows to planning.
There was a plan?
Well, I think on a very serious note, we cannot afford to politicize this issue, because people are taking naps for dinner and naps for lunch. Hawana pesa. Guys are very hungry. And it's expensive. I told you the last time I was here on Friday, I gave 1,000 bob to a teller after buying some 4 items, and they gave me back 16 shillings, and I almost collapsed. I thought they were stealing from me, and I had to go through that receipt.
See whether you've been double charged for something.
Yeah, and so things are really expensive, and whoever's in charge ought to do something on a very serious note.
But they were there on Tuesday, right?
Mike, if you ask me, I think the government actually knew, they foresaw this situation right from the time farmers started complaining about maize prices. So it's not something that has come in as
Sure,
shock. No, it's not. And then the funny thing is not just the maize. The maize is actually, ugali is a symbol of the lifestyle. Sugar, the price of sugar is almost doubled up. The price of milk is soaring. Everything else is going up. What's going to happen?
It's a conspiracy against the Luya community because we can't have tea and we can't have ugali either. It's really, really sad.
It's vote with our stomachs. We always told don't vote with your stomach.
I doubt
But vote with your stomach. Like for me, and this on a very serious note, I said I can't buy milk and a newspaper. Kama tumefika maziwa na gazeti is the same price. I'll buy a newspaper. Nitanunua Standard. I would rather have news than nutrition.
Have nutrition.
Yes.
So news versus nutrition.
That's where we've reached. In fact, it's scary to think that the price of milk right now is almost the same price as a newspaper.
No, it's more than.
No,
it's actually
that's half a liter. It's more than petrol.
Yeah.
It's more than petroleum.
Yeah.
Now, if that's going to be milk and unga, which is what you're supposed even to get for free in heaven, then really we have entered a nutritional hell. How much more can
But you know
say?
what is interesting is that, funnily enough, we may still have some of the leaders brought back. And really, that is down to the electorate. We sit here and complain. We'll be in matatus and complain. We'll complain on our WhatsApp group. But what happens when you go to vote?
I think the idea, I'm very conflicted about, and it's said in Time Without Number, that, you guys complain and then you vote in back the same people. These bloody politicians vote themselves back. Some of them steal their way back into these offices.
Literally in the middle of the night.
I mean, you suck at doing something. We need to have these conversations. You are voted out, then you steal your way back in. As in, who cast you? As in, go and kill yourself for something. You're terrible. You suck. People are hungry. Guys have died in your name. Don't force your way back. It's crazy.
But they do, and
But they do.
they
So
get
we
away-
cannot
they
keep
get away
blaming
with it,
Kenyans.
yeah.
I saw in 2007 guys queuing and they're having conversations about changing this country, and some old man snuck their way back into the office, and guys wanted him out. So we cannot blame the Wanjiko, and we are refusing to blame these people. They steal, and we know it. And please don't, I don't
It's
know.
an obvious fact. And we're getting to the elections not too long from now. But still sticking with matters food. And the donkey meat craze hit the headlines again this week after at least 35 beasts of burden were found slaughtered in Limuru. 2 brothers were arrested in the incident. Is donkey meat so much in demand, or should we blame it on the cost of living too? So is the demand, there's supply and the rule of supply and demand. These guys were found with 35 donkeys, and these donkeys were not working. They were not, like digging or carrying. They had been slaughtered, ready to be taken to some butcheries somewhere. Is this just maybe an alternative that we should
Why
seek?
always Limuru, Mike? That's what I ask. It's always Limuru. Me, I think there's donkey meat is beloved in Limuru. Yeah.
And maybe those people eat
But I
it.
thought they legalized
They legalized the
donkey meat,
donkey.
And donkey.
They legalized slaughtering donkey meat, but for export. And the other reason why they're saying is that maybe the demand in China, I think it goes to China, the demand in China is huge to a point where that now it is creating a certain demand here in Kenya.
So why were they wrong though? If they slaughtered them and there is demand in China,
because the meat was
not well done.
It wasn't licensed.
It wasn't licensed.
It was illegal.
Yeah, because I mean, if they're just doing business and they're also just surviving.
At this, I think the other question we need to ask ourselves is: have we eaten donkey meat or not?
I'm sure we probably have.
The question I think you should be asking is, have you eaten a samosa or not? If you have eaten a samosa, chances are...
Of the donkey in here.
The chances are that there is donkey meat. But
But
anyway,
is donkey meat edible though?
It's edible. It's
Well,
like
what's the
zebra,
problem?
right?
See,
It's
they
like
just-
zebra.
But are zebras edible? The
Yes.
Ama you say it's like
We eat in carnival.
Maybe like a
Oh,
crocodile is
chakula
edible.
zebra
It's like
carnival.
a snake.
If we go that route, everything is edible then. They eat dogs in South Korea. They eat cats in China.
They do.
They eat snakes in
Rats and
France.
snakes.
And snails in some areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
and it could just be a mind thing. There are restaurants that serve what they call exotic game meat. And maybe if you go to one of these and they put there on the menu,
Donkey
fried
mahal, sir.
donkey kebab. You probably think that looks nice.
They wouldn't call it that. They wouldn't call it donkey. They're just like, don't here. I'll try the zakhakhida.
Or maybe it would be
Or you eat
he or something.
or do you eat ass?
At he or
Did you just say that?
No, well, he meant donkey. You know,
yes,
the
I mean the
traditional
other
way of saying
one.
donkey, not the
other one.
not the other one. Yeah, not the other one. So anyway, yeah, maybe they gave it an exotic name.
Then we would
kebab.
eat it. Yes.
Are you probably?
Or maybe they come with a tape and like, so sir, what are you about to order?
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes. But the truth of the matter is, maybe we've tasted donkey meat and you didn't know. But anyway, at the end of the day, what is wrong with donkey?
But we eat all manner of things in this city. I suspect, Mike, you've had a couple of dogs.
Without knowing.
Hopefully not consciously, not knowingly, but there you go. It's possible.
I always say what goes in comes out. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it does.
Then it breaks down into like carbon and other things.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so to use your previous expression, donkey in, donkey out, but I'll not use the one you use. Anyway.
No. But on a more serious note, I think, like Mike asked, could it be that the cost of living is too high and people cannot afford? Because that is also a possibility.
But you see, the thing is the donkey meat any cheaper?
Yeah,
that's what we don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's not regulated, so you don't know. You know, if you walked into a butchery, like you can find rabbits, and it's written there, rabbits, then there's donkey, then there's beef, then you might have the choice and say.
It is cheaper when you don't know that it's donkey meat. When somebody tells you, when somebody sells
it's
it
300
as
now.
beef.
But Robinson Githai once told us, he said, you can even eat rats. Everyone remembers that. Yeah?
They're eaten in Western Africa, actually, but...
Yes, yeah, like rat kebab. So maybe we should stop complaining about Sukuma wiki and so on and expand our dietary choices in this ruthless country.
Maybe we suffer.
I have a very young son. I think today I'm going to ask Flora to get a rat.
No, but your son is weeks old. You can't eat.
Yeah, no, we need to expand to survive. Yeah, otherwise you're just going to starve.
But I saw in Uganda they eat kumbe.
Soon everything will be out of
In UG they eat kumbe.
Yes.
Oh, they do.
Let's start foraging.
No, I hear
I
you.
think at the end of the day, maybe what we lack is imagination. The minute we explore our imagination, you'll be able to eat.
And then guess what KRA is going to do?
There's people who eat snails.
And then get what KRA is going to do? They're going to make rats so expensive.
It's exotic.
One rat will be like 270 bob.
You know, KRA for me,
By the way,
it's like
chances are, Eric, that we'll now have politicians who deal with rats.
Yes.
In fact, the Ministry of Rats.
Chairman of rats.
There we go. That's wonderful.
Vile mimi nataka kuambia hii mambo ya panya. Panya za Marsabit zimetumwa, panya za Kericho zimetumwa. Hizi panya ziko kwa store. Ni panya za Nairobi. So we are telling Kenyans to calm down. Panya itakuja mahali huko. Mkuwe wapole.
So what you're saying is they'll pursue us to the ends of the earth. Whatever we choose to
in
eat.
this country.
Yeah.
And when it's not expensive, if you import it, KRA injects expense to it.
So it's all right.
Really. All right, moving on. The county government of Kiambu has issued an alert on the current, or rather imposed quarantine of Thika sub-county over suspected anthrax outbreak. This is following the admission of 8 patients at Thika Level 5 Hospital presenting symptoms of the fatal disease. Let's take a look.
Kuamkia Saturday nikasikia mkono inauma. Nikasikia hiyo mkono sio poa.
James Waivaka is one of the 8 meat transporters in Thika, Kiambu County, now hospitalized on suspicion of contracting anthrax, a fatal infection mostly acquired through contact with infected animals or meat. Together with 8 fellow meat transporters, what began as mild skin irritation, unbeknown to them, was a manifestation of anthrax.
Hiyo tu kubeba nyama na kupeleka kwa buchel kwa luzwa mahali kidogo. Hiyo mahali kidogo si kushughulika juu watu na kualuzwa. Lakini after baadaye siku 2 kuisha mkono ikaanza kufura.
Nikafura kidogo nikachukua sindano nitoe. nikakuta ni maji inatoka, nikaenda hospitali sasa, nikandungwa tetanus, nikapewa ndawa.
The affected 8 operated from the Thika Municipal Slaughterhouse, which has now been shut down to contain the outbreak. Anthrax is a zoonotic disease, meaning it is transferable between humans and animals, and when not attended to early enough can cause death. Residents have been advised to not only buy meat from licensed vendors and make sure it is thoroughly cooked to minimize infection. The county government of Kiambu has also imposed a quarantine on Thika sub-county, with operations at the slaughterhouse now grounded till Monday 15th May this year. Mark Namaswa, KTN News.
So, of course, now that's the other risk that we have when you have meat being slaughtered left, right, and center, and also people in a desperate situation, because anthrax is fatal. It's lethal. Yeah, so you all look like you've got the heebie-jeebies.
You're thinking you can't even eat meat anymore in this country.
No.
Maybe we should just go vegetarian and love our animals more.
Are you seeing how we are reducing like our entire sort of like data imagination?
You know what we'll start doing?
Everything's going back to food.
You know what we'll start doing, Smita? We'll start saying maybe you should just get home by 4. You sasa ukifika 6, mtu atakupiga na panga wewe.
Yes.
And it's just going to get worse. Or maybe you should just drive on this other side. Because you can't inside.
There's a accident.
Yeah.
Let's do better.
In short, what you're saying, Eric, is that we stand risk of accepting things as they are. And all we do is keep adjusting to accept what is wrong. Because really, that should not be the case.
The mediocrity level, I mean, that place looks like a morgue. Why does it look like a morgue?
It's a municipality
Well,
slaughterhouse
they're dead
for
carcasses.
information.
But it looks like a morgue.
The animal corpses.
It's not
Yeah, exactly. It is a morgue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a morgue for animals.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah. But at least nobody's going to take you for nyama choma anymore. Yeah?
No, who's taking who even now?
I don't know.
Who's taking who?
Yeah. At this rate, because you are worried about so many things.
can get anthrax
What
in the
does
farm.
Kuni think?
I just hope the county government is taking necessary measures because, first of all, those are Kenyans who were simply trying to make a living. And then, boom, the disease attacks. Yeah, that's very
But the question
unfortunate,
is,
yes.
sometimes do these warnings really filter down to us? And the reason why I ask that is, are you going to stop having meat in your house starting now?
No, you see, the thing about us is, and you alluded to it earlier, Kenyans love to adjust. Ukiwakatia maji wanachimba boho. Ukimwagia hiyo boho takataka wanaenda kukunywa kwa river. Ukikata hiyo river ujengee apartment, sasa wananunua maji. We love to adjust.
From wherever it is.
And what is it that we don't actually stand up and say, look, enough is enough? I'll give you an example. We've reached a point where even in Nairobi, for example, and it's not just Nairobi, it's most cities now in Kenya, we've accepted sitting in traffic for 3 hours is fine.
Yeah.
We're okay with it.
Because we don't know
all
any
you'll do
better.
is adjust and tell guys, you know what, I'll run late because I'll be at traffic.
I think because we don't know any better. We think things are supposed to suck. We think we're supposed to be sick and not treated. We think life should be expensive. We think meat should be expensive. We think we should leave Mombasa Road for Westlands for 9.5 hours. We think it's okay. It's not okay. When we know better, we will do better. But we don't know. It's like a blind man who's never seen.
But Eric, when you say we don't know better, you know better. What is it that...
The best I can do is contribute my voice, lend my voice, say, during an election like this. That's why I'm very upset, and I was appealing to politicians earlier, upon being rejected, generously.
Stay rejected.
Just stay rejected. It's okay to lose an election, so you give somebody else. It's not your birthright. You know, if you are making my life difficult, if the sewers are blocked, if I'm tired of you, Kidero, go home.
Yeah.
But that's just an empty appeal. In reality, you saw what happened with Jaguar and Commander. Commander came back. He had to be shouted out. You know, people had to mobilize. No, talking and saying that people should just not rig and so on. It's like talking to stones. But every society reaches. There's a part, if you're going to have anthrax where is that?
It's in
Thika. Yeah, you have donkey meat, and
Limuru.
God knows in Limuru. You have dengue fever in Mombasa.
Yes.
Yeah, you have the Ministry of Health now being denied aid
yes.
by America because, you know, they're stealing even drugs for HIV patients.
Yes.
If you've ever studied, and I did a bit of constitutional law,
Oh, wow.
things do reach elasticity points within society. And I don't know why people just
Well, I think in Kenya what happens is that we have a very long elastic limit, and it keeps being pulled and pulled, and let's hope it doesn't snap. But you know, there's some who may not have a very long elastic limit in terms of their color, skin tone. So, has Calligraph Jones removed his tints? Well, what doing round is that the rapper has bleached his skin, but has vehemently denied, saying he just uses makeup. And I think I read in an article today, it's in The Nation, where he was saying it's the water that he's drinking that has improved his skin tone.
I think he was in one of the TV channels on Friday, and I saw him, he's become a bit lighter. But look, to each their own. To each their own.
Calligraph, you've worked hard for your money.
Use it.
Brother, use it. Do whatever you want to do.
He wants to look
like... I'm kidding, by the way. I'm kidding.
Just chocolate and beautiful, and you can say that, yeah? I think Calligraph Jones has a very serious mental problem, inferiority complex, because I guess from Kayole, yeah, and he raps like in American English, yeah? Calligraph had never even been anywhere before he was Calligraph, but he batuka on us with that stupid accent. I find it very dumb. Yeah? That's a daft accent. Yeah? I have a sister who's been 15 years in Atlanta. She doesn't speak like that. She's been in the ATL. You know, so that's already a complex. It shows he feels inferior. Kayole with American accent. Now he's taking it to the next level. He's getting a bit of money.
I want to be Michael Jackson.
Drinking jig.
I want to be Michael
Drinking
Jackson.
jig. Yeah? Michael Jackson was a great genius. We could excuse him almost any eccentricity. Yeah? This is a guy with serious issues. Yeah, we're in Kenya. We are not in Queens. We are not in some ghetto.
Smita, maybe there is a market for his accent. There is a market for his kind of music. I mean, he hasn't made that money because nobody's buying. Somebody is buying into his way of doing.
Okay. You know, the thing that the most interesting thing is that they had a spat on the social media with the number 9 with Octopizzo. And Octopizzo, of course, aliona hiyo ni umama sana, and told him you can actually go and get a diss track out. And what did the guy do? He actually came out and did a whole diss track on Kutoa Tint, to each his own though. But I think even for me, Mama Mob, at the end of the day, what do you want to achieve? I think if you were black, remain black. If you wanted, although, if he feels being brown is gonna make him more music, because he said he's just pushing music, then let's wait and see whether that is gonna work for him.
And let me ask this question, because I mean, it's a fine line we are treading here, but what's the difference between him bleaching his skin, and I'll tread here very carefully, and somebody who maybe uses makeup? Because I read, at the end of the day, you're altering your skin tone to look a certain way.
You sit here and you have makeup because you're on TV, and you remove it after that. It's not like you want to walk across, like you wake up early in the morning and your face was like...
Yes, but you see, at the end, maybe then, what if there was permanent makeup? You know, makeup that you just...
There is permanent makeup.
There is permanent makeup. You have got it.
Yeah, permanent makeup.
Mike, if you walk around with too much Vaseline and lipstick and so on, if you're gay, that's okay. Yeah? But if you're Calligraph Jones, even that name... Yeah? Even that name, Calligraph Jones, yani, you're already Calligraph Jones. You just have watched too many black American things, and then now you also want to be white. Yeah,
Smita.
Please, talk about that inferiority in the head.
Kenyans love anything foreign. I've been on the queues at KFC and had people switch their accent like this.
Really?
Just gonna have the drum set. What kind of party you have? I'm like, I know you. You live in Hawaii. In fact, the junction has been a trip. So, but you know, the thing about it is, Smita, where I also tend to, have my reservations is the accents are acquired. Yeah. So you can concoct one in your house, or you could go to Cambridge and get one.
No,
so,
what is
speaking like a bloody
way?
He got his accent.
No, really? Yeah?
What is the difference?
Don't that sound bloody ridiculous?
But you guys,
speaking like that.
But honestly, you just say it to each his own.
What is the difference between Calligraph and people who are picking Nigerian accents? What is for their art?
For their art.
Is there a difference?
Yeah, no,
so it's for
there's no difference. You all being stupid.
It's for art's sake.
It's not art. That is inferiority complex. You can't come from Kayole and get a Brooklyn accent.
Okay.
Yeah? You can't.
But he has.
working.
He has.
You
actually.
can come to Guyana and get a Jamaican accent.
No,
It's
you
just-
can't.
it's just like one accent.
Even the guys that today we are until I'm proud. I'm saying celebrating. I'm proud because I'm a Kisi. I can say celebrating. It is better. It is better to say celebrating than to totally have those sort of.
No. I think
Jamaican
I'm very
accents.
conflicted about what somebody should speak like. Upon reading a lot of books as you do, then your grammar improves and your tenses and sentences improve. And when that happens, then you can owe it upon yourself to improve yourself like that. If he feels that speaking in an American lingo is going to validate his rap artistry, then so be it.
Bro, there's diction from education,
Of
and
course.
then there's accentuation that is affected.
Maybe
That
his
is an
artistry,
affected
maybe his form of art comes from aping Americanization.
And he has.
Yeah, so it's like an ape. Are you sure? My problem is, why are you an ape on Zip? You're not to be an ape. Be an ape.
You're an
But
artist.
you're a black ape.
He's not a brown one. He's a brown
Smita,
one.
you're overreacting.
Stop reckless
You're an
rectification.
artist and you understand being in character.
Yes.
So maybe the guy is just staying in character.
What
That's the
character is that?
the
That
character
one.
of his
That's
music.
one.
You go black this week, the next
No,
week
but
you're turning into
and that's why I
strange.
said,
But that's Aqua Brown.
and that's why I started by saying there is a market for his kind of music. There are people who enjoy that kind of music. Maybe because of how
behavior.
it sounds.
And Congolese do it all the time.
Yeah.
The Congolese do it all the
Have you
time.
seen the
Your media has
Congo
bleached.
and French assimilation, you won't even speak about the Congolese.
Oh, well,
Let me leave
there's
Okay,
some
no,
of that.
it's
And
all
also
right.
there's Vera Sidika and
However,
and they seem happy.
however,
Yeah,
people,
that's a social between
however,
us.
people listen. Okay, of course, I'm speaking for the voiceless.
As usual.
Life has changed for Calligraph.
Yes.
Yes.
He's drinking clear
He's
water.
drinking clean
Yeah.
water. He drives his own cars. The kind of food he's eating is totally
It's
different.
better.
He's eating salad.
He
He's
doesn't
eating
have
bala-
anthrax.
Yeah.
So if the skin improves,
Yeah, it
kidogo
has
kidogo,
improved,
kwani
yeah,
kuna
except for the
shida?
tattoos.
Yeah,
Can we give Calligraph
are you
a
trying
break?
to say? Are you trying to suggest that those who possibly have maintained a dark skin tone, possibly their water?
No,
their
no, no, no,
food
no, no,
is
no, no,
not-
no. Mike, don't get it twisted. This skin is dark, but look at the quality.
The
And the
quality,
blue.
yes.
Clean.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but if you're to use his narrative that
We are
the fact-
different. I don't know his genetic composition, but well, if
He's altered
I
his.
mean, there are people who have actually gone to the States looking like you and they come back
Darker.
darker, and the vice versa. So we don't know. But
So
if
maybe his works the other way around.
Yeah.
it works the other
Maybe
way,
he's an
He's
alien.
watched. Yeah, he's
Maybe
watched.
Yeah.
he's an alien.
No, he's
Let's
watched.
give the boy a
And
break.
if he feeds off earth substances, he's going to change into something very white from Uranus.
Yeah.
Let us give Calligraph
That's
Jones
all
a
foreign.
break.
Let's talking about foreign stuff. Early this week, news broke that a Kenyan teenager killed himself while playing an online game known as Blue Whale. The game has 50 challenges, and the last challenge is the player killing him or herself. The Kenyan Film Classification Board now wants the game banned. And of course, I think we do know what happened. Apparently, the 16-year-old basically went through the 50 challenges. And of course, the last one is for you to
Just
kill
to
himself.
kill
Talking
himself.
about foreign stuff and, some of the things that's happening online.
Yeah, well, I saw that a lot of, it was very heart-wrenching, really. I think I would just like to appeal to our parents. We are very, very busy and we're doing this and that and trying to provide for our kids, but let's get involved upon raising our children, have conversations with them. Yesterday, I'm not a parent yet, but I was talking to my sisters and it was earth-shattering, their experiences with men in matatus. They were telling me about how
How
men...
old are they?
Cindy is 19, Bonita is 28, and all of them were saying catcalling, groping, yelling,
Yes.
vile language, and it really broke my heart. Well, I haven't experienced it as a man, but I think if you would spend some time to speak to your kids and know what they're up to, then you'd get to learn a lot of things that, is ailing them. And maybe you can cut things of this sort before it gets to the point of, them killing themselves.
Yeah.
So, and just on the same appeal, after having spoken to my sisters, I want to appeal to all men watching that they need to do better. The women are not your properties. They ought not to be touched. You can't start talking to them like you're talking to your, I don't know what. you know, let's respect women.
Respect.
And let's protect women. It doesn't have to be your mother or your sister or your cousin. If I meet queens on the streets and it's dark, protect her. Let her feel safe.
Okay, I'm
Don't start following her
Blue,
closely.
Amen.
Blue Whale Challenge and this sermon.
No.
I mean, I agree with your sentiment,
This is
but
another
I'm saying,
appeal.
what has this got to do?
How I am
with
tying it, I'm tying
appeal,
it.
yeah.
If you have conversations like I did with my sisters, I learned something I did not know. So if parents spoke to their kids, they would get to know about Blue Whale Challenge and cap it earlier.
All right, and maybe just to create context, let me pause you a little bit. We just want to listen into what this Blue Whale Challenge is all about, especially for those of us who might be thinking, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's possible.